Y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Appreciate y'all for rocking with us tonight. This here is Series 10 making the cut, y'all. We done made it to Series 10, y'all. It's about to get crazy tonight, y'all. In the chat room, I don't know, they got the nickname the Big Ten. I want to see if they gonna live up to that name tonight, y'all. Yeah. It's some heat in the room tonight. Make sure y'all go ahead and share this live. If your friends, they do not want to miss it. So these are some artists that's going to stick with you for a long time. You feel me? So we about to go ahead and run this intro. You know what you need to do. Go ahead and share. We'll be back in a second. Go.
Derek Wallace. What up, J.O.? Kimberly Stewart. Yeah. Big Uno. Okay, it's time to ease your mind. No wasted time, I come in peace. Every poem is one of a kind, so every line is R&B. I swear for God, it's time to eat. This is just a place to be. If you riding with the team, then say it loud. K.O. Speak. I pray your penmanship be photosynthesis. The witnesses and they attentiveness be memorable mentally and so more physically. The creativity with words you see it vividly. The way we orchestrate the place, you think it was a symphony. So bring your skills if you really real. If it's your spot demanding, are you the one to make the cut and be the last one standing? Then rip where you from. Let your heart and talent speak. If you grind and reach the peak, then you a real G-O-A-T. J.O. speak. 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 J.O. speaks.
Yo, hopefully y'all went on and subscribed. Hopefully y'all went on and shared the channel. Y'all listen, it's about to be a show tonight. But just like you know, it takes a village to raise a poet. So y'all, this series, we got some new judges, y'all. I'm excited for y'all to meet them. As always, my co-host in the number one seat. Y'all know him. Y'all give it up for my man, Big Uno in the building, y'all.
Hey, what's up, season 10? I hope y'all come earn this 10. I ain't in the mood for the playing around, so bring your A game.
Let's go. And my other co-host in box 3, y'all always know she got to do the little fashion-related intro. Hey,
You know it.
ain't nothing different. But y'all give it up for Kimberly Stewart, y'all.
Listen, y'all, I'm hyped. I just got off the phone in a meeting, a Zoom call with a phone call, sorry, with a television producer who's about to pull up tonight. So
Oh,
y'all
wow.
better bring your A game. Executive television
Go.
producer. Y'all better bring your A game.
Let's go. Kimberly Stewart always working. And listen, on the Poets Roll, y'all. Yo, this role is phenomenal. If y'all ever familiar with Def Poetry Jams, she was the one that had an anthem, y'all, right? It was bomb, y'all. It's an anthem I still feel like it's vibrant. Y'all give it up for none other than Tamara Blue. Let's go.
Hi.
What's up, Tamara? What you feeling tonight? What are you looking for from these poets?
Originality. Don't come out here sounding like me 20 years ago.
Let's
That's
go. Let's
that's
go.
that's that's really what I want to see you.
But you was born 20 years ago. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but don't be me.
Don't be me. I got
Be
you.
you.
And listen, so as y'all know, we had another judge, but he couldn't make it tonight. So tonight, standing in, my man always come through. He come with the dopest commentary. I love it, y'all. We had to run him back. Y'all give it up for my man Red Lion in the building, yo. Red
It's
Lion,
good,
what you looking for tonight?
man. As customary for these first ones, I just want to see your best. So I want a dog fight.
Okay.
I want y'all to really get
Okay.
after it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that looks like for you. So that's what I want to see.
That's what's up. And y'all, in this last but definitely not least, yo, when I say not least, I mean like number 2 in the world. Like, yo, fire. Y'all give it up for Lachelle, the shooter, yo. Yo, Lachelle,
What's
what
up?
are you looking for tonight?
Man, I just like to hear dope ass poems, so I'm hoping for dope poems that I can love on and that I can celebrate. So that's all I'm looking for. Dope poems. I love to hear them.
For sure, for sure. So just to reiterate the rules, we kicking off a new series. The number one big rule, no profanity. If you curse poets, judges, keep it clean. But poets, if you cuss, you automatically kicked off the show. There's not really a time limit, but if you go over, the poets will go feel like it may get a little lengthy. We're judging on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. We drop the highest, and the lowest score. The most you can get is 30 points, yo. The highest scoring poet will walk away with the cash prize, but only 8 can make it into next week, and we have 12 poets tonight, y'all. So we got some chopping to do. Let's see who will make the cut. And y'all, she talked about this 20 years ago, but y'all, she still got it. Calibrating, kicking us off tonight, y'all. I'm excited. I grew up watching Tamara Blue and Mike and Dim Lights, so I am excited to have her kick off the show tonight. Y'all give it up for none other than Tamara Blue. Let's go.
Awesome. Well, since you said a Mike and Dim Lights, for those in California, we are coming back. Starting February 22nd, we'll be in Los Angeles. So if you follow me on Instagram, I will post it, or just message me and don't be creepy. Okay, so I have a poem or a riddle. She sold her soul by the seashore. She also sold her last stitch of dignity to satisfy the so-called addiction she had to this narcotic that was planted into our community by government and city officials. We should have blown the whistle, but she couldn't hear the whistle because she was deaf, dumb, and blind like 85% of mankind. Just asked the poor righteous teachers. Or maybe we should ask Peter, because Peter packed the pipe and then passed it to her. And if Peter packed the pipe, then Peter must have been the pusher, man. But this is just a riddle, man. But how much crack could a crackhead crack if a crackhead could crack? None. Because she's a smoker, not a cracker. Yes, a sometimes crack whore who sucks glass sticks filled with pipe dreams. Seems she got stuck in New Jack City smoking primos with Pookie. Chose not to climb the hill with Jill and bump Jack because he's nimble and quick, serving that got her sick by the seashore. Selling her soul by the seashore. Standing in sand that's sinking quickly. Seems we lost another soldier in this drug war because all the king's horses and all the king's men, they couldn't put her soul back together again. Her fall was great. Greater than Humpty. Humpty Hump and Humpty Dumpty, she fell like splat. Flat on her back, pimped by some cat named Jack, off of some magic beans. You see, crack? Crack is a giant government stock planted sometime in the 80s. After Vietnam, but before ADHD. And she still births babies. Lost in this drug war that she wasn't fighting or surviving. In this world that stopped listening and stopped caring. They only wanted to know, how much crack could a crackhead crack if a crackhead could crack? My guess, the world will never know. That's my piece.
Yo, listen. Fire, yo.
Thank you. That was my number 2 poem for Deaf Poetry. So that it was I did both of those, either Thick Chicks or that one. So that's a full 20 years old.
I love it. A riddle or a poem. So y'all, the judges about to judge just simply so y'all can see Series 10, just where these judges are at. Y'all, as always, the Uno. What say you, man?
Hey, Tamara Blue, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that piece. I appreciate it. Like I do with all the calibration poets, thank you for being here. That was powerful. I hope the other poets that's about to follow took some notes and came with the same enthusiasm and wordplay that you came with. Like I do with everybody. It's a 10.
10. Let's go. Yeah. Kimberly Stewart, what say you?
Sisters! I'm so excited to have 2 other women on the panel with me. Hey, okay, first of all, let me just say, you are powerful, Mama. And, I'm not familiar all the way with you. I do remember seeing you maybe once on Deaf Poetry Jam, but I'm not all the way familiar with your work. So I am thrilled and honored. And you did that. What I loved was the command. As soon as you was like, okay, that command is where it's at. Like, and that is what a lot of, I would dare to say, amateur poets, that's the difference between the amateurs and the professionals. Take command of your stage.
Mm-hmm.
And you did that. It was a master class. You are the bomb. And I'm so excited to be here with you. It's a 10 from me, baby. It's a 10.
Let's go, 10. So y'all, we on the Poets Road. Tamara Blue, you can't judge yourself. So we're going to skip on over. Red Lion, what say you?
Blue, you were so cold to me. Oh my God. So it was the parallel between like how you incorporated the nursery rhymes with the war on drugs, and I think there was even an undertone of like not just the war on drugs, but even the youth war on drugs, right? So I think that was really powerful how you incorporated the nursery rhymes, because it puts an emphasis on how the war on drugs affects our young people and our youth.
Yeah,
so
this is dope.
Like that was so cold to me. If I could say anything about it, I mean, the only thing that I just wish like it was, you know, and I know you relax, you know what I'm saying? It could be longer, but I mean, like what I wish, like in the performance, right, the presentation of it, you know what I'm saying, and you're comfortable, you know what I'm saying. If you really wanted to, man, you could have just ate that up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that. And for the poets coming up, if you're trying to go to the next round, don't sit down like I sat down. No, it's true. I knew I didn't have to stand up because of the same thing that Kimberly was saying. But take ownership of your space.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Michelle, Red Line, I didn't get your score.
Yeah, so with that being said, that's a 9.5 for me. So
all right, 9.5. That's still good. Michelle the Shooter, what say you?
Yeah, I have to agree with Red on this one. I'm a performance person, so like that's my favorite aspect. I come to not only hear the words, but also a part of performance poetry, especially on the slam stage, and why it was created was so that we could entertain the crowd, right? Fool them into watching. So I know you chilling, especially when you the sax. So I know you chilling, but otherwise, writing's there. Even 20 years old is still relevant. We love timeless pieces. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the 9.
Let's go 9. So y'all see where the judges are tonight. It's not a game, y'all. This series 10, the Big 10. But yo, you know what time it is. It's time to mix words and emotions with confidence and emphasis. You see, it's the hottest show with a poetic flow, from the one that brought you Right and Chill, often imitated, but no one ever duplicates the feels. Every Tuesday night at 10 Central, our words weigh heavy on your mental. You see, we interrupt your normal program to bring you J.O. Speaks Poetry Slam, y'all.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
We about to get this show started, y'all. The poets are already backstage, y'all. I'm not gonna hold y'all any longer. With no further ado, put your hands together for the first poet of Series 10 of tonight, none other than Galaxy. Let's go.
If I say the word period, does it make you feel uncomfortable? What about the word vagina? Growing up as a woman, I was taught that words like this was only to be used behind closed doors, but now that I'm older, I wonder, why I can't talk about vagina when everybody wants some? They want to get a piece, fill a piece, sometimes steal a piece, but when I speak my piece, they tell me that I'm out of order and they want me to wash my Wi-Fi with water. I always blame men. I don't know if it's the man in the word administration. It always makes me mad on this time of the month, or when these dudes just act like they don't know what's up. Like, why would you name it that? As if the lining in my vagina needed another man to tell her what to do. Honestly, we make sure that these men are straight. Well, when we ministrate, they act like it's something they just can't take. But then I start to think, see, when I'm in that stall, when my hand against the wall and I'm trying not to fall, when my stomach is in pain, but I'm still trying to win the quiet game, when it's just me against the rapper. It ain't no man up in that bathroom. They pretend like the bomb in Gilead is about to go off for every rip or tear. There's a bulge in my pocket. They're gonna pretend like it's a tampon in there. If I get up and leave this meeting to go to the bathroom, people are gonna stare, and I wonder, how did we get here? The way I see it, our period is supposed to be our claim to fame. The thing that separates men from little girls, the women, the proof is in the pudding, and mine just got a little bit sweeter. They congratulate you on your first one. They tell you to play hide and seek every month after you reach that peak. I will never understand how a period can be the end of a sentence, but the beginning of a womanhood. My womb, strong enough to withstand the pain of 50,000 knives stabbing me until I scream bloody murder, yet delicate enough to nurture a single cell into a human being. We, our oceans, our baby, our vessels, our period just turns us into creators. We are not life makers made in his image, because a man could never withstand the pain of feeling like you're breaking every bone in your body just to have his baby, or withstanding the pain of feeling like you got the stomach flu every month not to have his baby, to see a man fall with every flick to the balls. Bless me knowing that you will never be stronger than my walls, because anytime my walls come tumbling down, I still wear my smile around. So now I wear my period like a badge of honor. The blood just reminds me that I am a warrior. My vagina has birthed 2 kids, all natural, no medicine, just like my ancestors. So my body had no ancestors, just like my ancestors. So now I wear my period like a badge of honor. The blood just reminds me that I am a warrior. My vagina has birthed 2 kids, all natural, no medicine, just like my ancestors. So now I wear my period like a badge of honor. The blood just reminds me that I am a warrior. My vagina has birthed 2 kids, all natural, just like a warrior, just like my ancestors. So now, when anyone asks me, God, like a badge of honor. So now, anytime somebody asks me if my period is like a badge of honor, so now the blood just reminds me that I am a warrior. My blood just reminds me that I am a warrior. My vagina has birthed 2 kids, all natural, just like the warriors. My blood has reminded me that I am a warrior. My vagina has birthed 2 kids, all natural, just like my ancestors. So now, when people ask me, my period just reminds me that I am a warrior. So now I know that I am a warrior. My blood just reminds me that I'm a warrior. And now when people ask me, I am a warrior. My blood just reminds me that I am a warrior. So now I wear my period like a badge of honor. So now I know that I am a warrior created in God's image, and me having a vagina just makes me his favorite, period.
Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you, Galaxy the Poet. All right, y'all. It's hard being in number 1 spot. I commend you, Queen. All right, Uno, it's on you.
Galaxy, thank you for your piece. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you. I appreciate your courage trying to finish that out. But we're gonna go back to the beginning. With me, your inflection, you yelled at me the entire time. You didn't have no inflection. You didn't go up, down. So you was just pissed off at me the whole time. It was a little over animated. Your hand movements didn't match your words that you were saying. So it was just looking like a big temper tantrum from a kid to me. And then when you come on I know it's you're the first poet. Calibration Poet came, she did her thing. Slow down, calm yourself. I appreciate you trying to finish it out, but for you, I give you a 3. Appreciate you.
All right, 3. All right, Kimberly Stewart, it's on you.
So I'm a little biased because that period thing, listen, I feel you, sis. I was like, why? Yeah. So as far as like topic and how you started and all of that. You know, there is a need for that poem to be able to be read in spaces like this, but you need to edit. You're gonna have to figure out, because before you started messing up or any of that, it was just too long. Like, and so then it becomes, you know, a rant in the listener's ear during a slam. At a regular poetry reading or something like that, fine, take 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Do it 7 minutes, however long they give you. Before a slam, you know, there's a cutoff. And if, especially because you're competing, right? So you know where it was, you know what you did. I appreciate you going ahead and pushing through and fighting through. And so, but the poem wasn't bad. You know, your performance definitely, you know, needed its work, but the poem itself was pretty good. So for all of that, I'm gonna give you a 5.
All right, 5. All right, y'all, we on that poets roll. Kicking it off with Tamara Blue.
Okay. Oh, this is okay. I agree. First, I guess, yes, thank you for bringing your poem. That was nice. I agree. I would say, just advice, figure out who you're talking to in your poem. That'll also help you find your spot when you lose your spot, because as the first judge said, it was like you were in the same tone the whole time. So that kind of gives even yourself, it's hard to find your place if it's down. Regards to the subject, I thought, but I look up other words for a period. I know that was like the point of the poem, like that it was the period, but I think that you could have used some creativity in there and finding some of the other words for a period, just kind of to spice it up. I'll go with the 6.3.
All right, 6.3. Red Lion.
So as a man who's never experienced a period before in my life, I am unqualified to talk about said subject matter as it pertains to issues of, or, you know, the plight of the woman and the, you know, woman's organs. But from a writer's perspective, one, I'll say this is I appreciate, I know people have been talking about the tonality whenever you came out and how it's been consistent. I appreciate the initial fire of it, because I feel like the attempt was to grab our attention. But to everybody else's point, it's important to kind of, you know what I'm saying, kind of weave us through that story. To Kim's point, editing is going to be your best friend. Definitely, as far as storyboarding your poem is concerned, and making sure that it's cohesive for understanding. Because with me being a man and not knowing about, you know, or experiencing that, it's you know, it's understanding your audience. Not everybody is going to get that. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta baby me, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, teach me about it, you know. And I think that was the attempt. And then finally we get to the piece where you kept, you know, repeating, right? So here's my advice, right? I believe that if you would have ended with the piece that you kept repeating, with that with the line you kept repeating, it would have been good. And I feel like the scores would have been higher had you stopped right there, because it was actually a really powerful line to stop on. You know what I'm saying? And just like that certain hope just kind of like puts us in a state of reflection. So, you know, if you get to that point and you've repeated the line, you know, 2 or 3 times, just cut it. You know what I'm saying? Just cut it right there. If you know you're not going to be able to find it, it's, you know, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because the more you do that, the more you're convincing me that, you know what I'm saying, like, you don't have it. So like, do your best to, you know, just make me believe that you got this thing down and everything like that. But I appreciate it. So for me, it'll be a 6.5.
All right, 6.5. Lachelle the Shooter.
Yeah. So again, I'm a performance. I pay attention to performance, so that in itself just I won't reiterate any of the points. But in terms of the poem, what I like to do is make sure people have something that they can reference when you go back to do it. There's no unique story, just people telling it from a different perspective. So in terms of being able to like center your poem and see how people have leveraged this concept, a couple of places you could start. Roddy, she has a period poem that catches the audience, where literally everybody, even in the audience, including men, are yelling out period by the end because it's just that good. Ayana Albertson, Olivia Gatwood, if you are just searching for people, searching for bodies who have periods, those are some phenomenal poets who have done this that I think you can research and look at and see how you can strengthen the writing of the poem, because the concept, while not new, it is one that doesn't get spoken of often. So I would love to see you revisit it. So with that, I'll give it a 5.
All right, 5. That's what's up. All right, Galaxy, I appreciate you, y'all. Y'all give it up for Galaxy. We'll keep this show rolling, y'all. Next up, I think it's ladies' night tonight, y'all. Give it up from a dear friend. She came from Bigo, so I'm excited to see her here on YouTube. Give it up for She Goddess. Let's go.
Hello. Okay. Until we meet again, she. This is just the body I'm living in. Program terminated, and then the soul ends.
She Goddess, you good? All right, I think we're having technical difficulties. Okay, I see her back. All right, we're going to start from top. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for She Goddess.
Are we good? All right. Until we meet again, by she. This is just the body I'm living in. Program terminated, and then my soul ends. My best friend. Program terminated, and then the soul ends. What is a soul without a body? I, Robot. What is the soul without a body? Let's begin. See, I woke up, but you did not. They say she's resting now. I say energy never dies. So this is just the beginning. I cannot feel sadness. I mean, I can, but it hurts. Then I burst. Angry black woman, man with a womb. I am not the first to snap on the first person to say, smile. Sorry, my indifferent lifestyle invokes you to impose your, it's not that bad upon me. See, I am fighting some demons I can't feel. Have you heard of the camel? I can't feel. Have you heard of the camel and the angry black woman? See, for the camel, it was the straw. For the angry black woman, it was the law. Bodies dropping. No, bodies dropping. Heart attack. No. Knee to the chest, knee to the back, knee to the neck, needle to your vein. Heart attack. No. Bullet to your brain. See, but the obituary reads, reason not listed. They don't know why. I am processing. For we know not the day, the hour, or the time, but she arises. I keep looking up because they say you're looking down on me, but I've been in an airplane, American Airlines, Delta, but the only spirit I seen was mine leaving my body. Imagine being such and such feet up in the air and you can't scream. Imagine being such and such feet up in the air and you get that phone call that your loved one is no longer here. I'm processing. I went to your house immediately. I made a cup of tea. I looked over my shoulder where you would normally be. I said, Grandma, do you need anything? I'm processing. I've been fighting demons. See, the day you died, I've been fighting demons, not the ones on earth, but the ones inside. Telling people don't touch your things. She's at the hospital. She'll be home tonight. I am processing. When it hit me, I was driving. Puddles of pain filled my eyes. I don't know. I thought my soul was trying to escape my body because my soul was getting the best of me. What is a body without a soul? I asked because when your program got terminated, I had to be at peace with your hard drive resetting. It was corrupted and needed to be formatted with a new file system. I am processing the data, the soul, the data, the soul, the soul, the data. Is it actually gone? Relax was the last thing you told me. And I know that's because if I overheat, who's going to explain to my son I died from overprocessing? I'm sure our souls will meet until we meet again. She. Thank you.
Thank you, She Goddess. All right. Uno, it's on you.
She Goddess, thank you for your peace. Thank you for sharing. I didn't know it was about your grandma passing away to the end after we done went through the airline crash, drug use, world domination. It was all over the place. I didn't know where. I don't even know what I listened to. 5 to stay alive. Thank you.
All right, 5. Kimberly Stewart, it's on you.
Yeah, Uno done came out swinging. Woo! Uno, you want some of my popcorn, bro?
No, I'm in a good mood. It's season 10. We know what we're doing now. It's season 10, baby. We know what we're doing.
No, this is real. She Goddess, first of all, hi, beautiful. How are you? You are absolutely a sight to take in. So I'm a little disappointed that you wouldn't connect with us. I just wanted you to look at us. I was like, just look at us, baby, because we would forget half of the stuff that was going on in the poem if you would just literally center yourself in that camera and every once in a while just like look at us. Like, you are gorgeous. And I know we got the Poets Row and they gonna see through all of that, but there's something to be said about connection. And if you can connect with your audience, physically and emotionally through the piece, and physically just by looking at them, just by, making the point of your line, when you said, I'm still processing, like, make us believe you're still processing. You know what I'm saying? But like, you were processing the whole time and you were not telling us the story. That's why Uno felt like it was all over the place. I have an affinity towards you. Like, I know you from Bigo, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what you can do. So I was paying way more attention to you than I would some poet I didn't know. Because I'm going to tell you, if I didn't know you, honey child, I'd have tuned off probably. I don't know. I would have tuned out though. And it's too long. You guys, I don't want not another poet to get up here and do another 5 to 7 minute poem and y'all ain't hitting nothing. Okay? This is a slam. It's not a poetry reading. There's 2 different things. Like, the book poem that you published and got an award for.
Tell them about them readings.
It don't work here.
What's your
So
score?
I'm a little disappointed, but I'm so glad to see you here. I'm gonna give you a 6. Because you had some lines in there, boo. You know what you can do. Come on, man. Come give us more than that.
All right, y'all. We on that poets row, and they don't know nobody. Kicking it off. Tamara Blue, it's on you.
All right. I literally liked your setup with the pretty background, and like even sitting to the side, I was expecting you to really engage and spit. So that was surprising when that wasn't your vibe. But I really liked where you were going at the beginning of the poem in regards to the soul and like, you know, is it a robot and where does it go? But then I just felt dropped and didn't know where we went from there. 6.
All right, 6. Red Lion.
It's a lot I could say about it. So in listening to it, so I felt like I heard like 3 or 4 different approaches to the poem versus one approach. At first, whenever you had the parallel between the soul and the body and the robot and the shell, I was initially leaning toward more of a Prentice Powell has this poem called The System. And it kind of, I was like, okay, well, maybe she's going to go in that direction, right? So I'll say this, if your premise is to articulate that you're robotic, then be robotic and convince me that you are a robot. You know what I'm saying? Struggling to find your humanity. I felt like you were a human trying to be a robot. You know what I'm saying? I kind of felt it in reverse. As far as you know, writing wise, I think that you're a really, really dope writer. I just think that how that poem is organized, it's just not you have to make it make sense and palatable. Because at the top of the poem, I literally thought that, okay, she's talking about a friend. And then like what Uno said, like, I didn't know it was your grandma toward the end, but then in the middle, I was like, okay, well, maybe she's talking about 3 different people. You know what I'm saying? Because you were listing out different afflictions, you were listing out different struggles, you were listing out, and then you made the comparison between like, you know, yourself and how other people react to you and everything. So I think, yeah, like I said, I think that you're a great writer. You just have to be able to organize your thoughts in a way that is cohesive, you know, so that they work together. But I mean, other than that, yeah, man, that's all I say. That's all I was saying. You know, engage with the crowd, engage with your camera and everything. And, you know, I'm saying whatever you're trying to sell it to me and make me believe it. It's going to be 5.8.
All right, 5.8. All right, Lachelle the Shooter, it's on you.
Yeah. So beautiful girl. Again, I will say that definitely does not help. Like one thing I'm completely conscious of is that like you can't be swaggy and not good because people judge you more. They do. People judge you harshly, right? And it's not even your fault. Like you just came to spit a poem that ain't got nothing to do with you, but people do. They try to connect what they see with what they're hearing. So sometimes it can be a bit harsher. So I just want to put that out there. Like that has nothing to do with you. They expected something not knowing what you was going to give. That ain't your fault. But I do want to say, I didn't understand it was a part of my issue from an emotional standpoint and from a sequential standpoint. And that's really the issue, right? We want to be able to emotionally connect, but also be able to go through the story. And I want to caution you, like sometimes if you're not ready to do the poem, it's okay, right? If you are still processing, you don't gotta bring us into that journey until you're ready. And maybe that could be what it is, that you do still need a moment to process it so that you can take it through the sequence. So just sit with that. Make sure that you're ready to give us the poem before you bring it back up so you have time to really understand it. And again, a point of reference, Jeremiah the Fluid One Pain has a poem called Hello World, where he does tap into that robot aspect. So that's one that you can probably leverage as a reference poem. From me, I'm going to give that a 5 as well.
All right, 5. Let's go. All right, y'all. Hey, she got us. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your piece, y'all. Let's keep this
Jay,
going. Like I said,
Jay,
y'all, yeah.
wait,
Yes,
Jay, wait. I'm sorry for interrupting your regularly scheduled program. Hey, yo,
Okay.
listen, y'all. My boy J.O., he putting on a big slam for everybody. This is a big platform. We trying to help it grow. And this man is covering this out of his pocket. Y'all know what's going on for the All-Star. So if y'all want to help see us grow, hit that cash out. And I'm going to put it on the screen for you. $1, $10, $100, $1,000, whatever you feel. I know taxes right around the corner, so drop a little in that collection plate to help us grow. I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you, Ono. But yeah, make sure y'all hit the cash out. We make sure all the judges sit right. We make sure the contestants have something to take home if they get the prize. But y'all, it's J.O. Speaks. We about to keep it going, y'all. Next up, like I said, it's ladies' night, and I'm feeling the vibe. Y'all give it up for Madam President. Let's go.
Can't hear you, love.
Okay.
We can't hear you, love.
No sound. No sound. No sound. Take a. Hey, Madam President, stop for a minute. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. All right. So yeah, this is all new. Like I said, this is making the cut for Series 10. So we still got some little technical
you now?
work to do. So, Madam President, can you give us a mic test? Madam President, can you give us a mic test? All right, let's give her a moment. 1 second, y'all. Yeah, this is hard to do on a virtual, especially when you're new to a platform. So let me make sure she's good. Madam President, can you hear me? All right, so what we're gonna do, we definitely we'll come back to Madam President. She's having technical difficulties. Let her get a chance to get it together. So next up, y'all, we're gonna keep the show going. Madam President, we'll give you a moment to get your sound. The next in line, y'all, give it up for my man, Jay the Sage. Let's go.
Only me and God will have a hand on my final curtain. So I ask you, are you God? They say every saint has a past and every sinner a future. The difference is a sinner doesn't know what future he has in store. Yet a saint can have a past he can choose to ignore. Let him without sin cast that first stone. Yet there you are sitting so comfortably on your glass throne aimed at the other side of residences to which you used to reside. You're firing that gun of judgment at others, but what happens when that barrel comes rolling back at you? You're sure you're bulletproof? I mean, let's be real. Look, the sins we do and the sins we don't. The commandments we will follow and the ones we won't. It's crazy what we commit to and condemn others that don't. So we only judge others on the sins we decide to abide, stand and say you're perfect, and I promise you are just a little lie. See, I preach the proof that there is a purpose without perfection, but pretty words don't always count to direction. So when God tells me to be a light, consider the way I walk the message. See, I'd rather them see me basking in the light than a flash in their faces. Invite them to come inside, but allow them to walk at their own paces. Stuffing pages of scripture down their throats, we mistaken suffocation for education. So sit down, little believer, and be humble. In life, you don't get to play the rep. You better throw a flag and help pick up those who fumble. So watch your tone. Non-believers are not the other teams. We all perceive heaven as the end zone. What I'm really trying to ask is, how do you plan to face a sinner if you can't look in the mirror and see the face of a sinner? So face a sinner, that's a tough pill to swallow, but look at me. I'm serving truth tenders to dinner. I came to audit the pretenders. Now, in a minute, come after your favorite preacher. Let's talk about how he looks nice in the church he preaches, and it makes you wonder what really happens to the money that collects him been. Oh, they don't like if I try to turn the tide, but I wouldn't be me if I try to ostracize a lot. So let me introduce myself. I am Jay the Sage. I'm the sage of sages, and I came just to say this. Even when I'm not cursing, they say I'm using strong language. Even my lines are truth seekers. And we don't aim for targets, shots to seem to land who need us. I'll go Republican, tear this child up like I don't care what happens after the fetus. I'll walk in the room, head up high, God on my side, just wondering who can defeat us. My words cut through the bull, my tongue is a cleaver. This age could turn savage. Be lucky I choose to be a poet and not a reaper. They be like, whoa, Jay, we ain't come for all this violence. I said, yeah, nah, me neither. But see, people start getting offended when you want to shed light and who really a true believer. Now, sometimes I know I can be stacked with cadence and confidence, and some may say I mistake that for pride, but I'm not too arrogant to know that I probably didn't lie, and that's something I can work on. But I know when I'm in God's house, I can be king size or just a futon, but I'm somebody that anybody going through anything can always lean on. Moral of the lesson, I'm so glad you found religion. But just know, even at my lowest, I'm still a godly man. So no matter how high on the horse you are no closer to God than where I stand. Time.
All right, yo. Hey, we got a fella hitting it tonight, yo. Uno, it's on you.
Jay. Hold on, make sure. Jay the Sage. Thank you for your piece. Thank you for sharing. I got a question for you, bro. Why are you running? Where are we running to? I want to digest. I want to feel that. I want to hear your bars. But you ran through the bar. I couldn't even digest the Reaper bar. Then you was on another bar. Then you running so fast, you're running out of breath, so you can't even finish that bar. I'm a rapper, so I know about breath control. But you was excited. Your pen is nice. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this the most so far. So, but for next week, when you come back next week, bro, just slow down. Let us feel that. Let me hear it. Maybe I don't listen as fast as other people, but I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. So with that being said, 8, bro, I appreciate you.
All right, 8. Kimberly Stewart.
Hey Jay, nice to meet you. So yeah, like totally slow it down. I would suggest you go and like YouTube a singing lesson, like a breathing singing lesson, because I thought you were done. You said something about this, like saying you took a big breath and then you started again. Like I was literally I was getting ready to snap you up. Like, oh, okay, he done. And I was like, yes, finally, one of the poets wasn't too long. Oh, he's still going. So don't do us like that. Don't do us like that, especially because the line that you took a breath on could have ended the poem. Everything that you said after that, you could have left that on the paper. It was not important. The poem was done. And we were still trying to catch up to realize what you said. I can't even tell you what the line was because you said it so fast. So you were good though. Like the poem, I hear your pen, like Uno said. I'm not gonna say you were good. The performance was all right. But I can hear your pen, so I'm excited to see more of you. And for that, I'm gonna give you a 7.
All right, 7. All right, y'all, we on that poets roll. Tamara Blue, it's on you.
I liked it. I didn't follow it though. Like I did hear the good wordplay and like that stuff in there. So give thanks for that. Like they're saying your pen. I hear that it was in there, but I didn't catch the poem. I couldn't tell you what it was about right now. So I'm excited to see you next week, but I'll go with a 6.5.
All right, 6.5. Red Lion.
Now, Jay, we all know you're a dope writer, dude. We all know that. I mean, it's pretty much the same as everybody else. I would say not only for you, but for everybody who has that type of approach, right? Because it's really rhymey, really rhythmic, which is dope. I love it. I think it's dope. So I would say be aware that this is a virtual space. So how your words translate in a virtual space is going to be a little bit different than how you would do it live. I'm pretty certain live we would have caught the words if it was live. But because it's a virtual space, you have stuff like, connectivity, Wi-Fi, cadence and everything like that. It shifts a little bit, so you have to put a little bit more emphasis on your words. That doesn't necessarily mean you compromise your rhythm, but adjust it to where you are certain that the camera picks up everything that you're saying. Like I know what the piece was about. And if I could give any advice, I would say, give us a preference to what the poem is about, because people aren't going to know you're talking about you know what I'm saying, how dope you are, you know what I'm saying, because that's initially what the piece is, you know what I'm saying. It's displaying your grit, it's displaying your determination and everything like that. But we don't get that until we don't get that understanding of the poem until a little bit afterwards. So, you know what I'm saying, maybe give us a couple bars in preference to you know what I'm saying, explaining why, you know what I'm saying. Not a setup. Don't do no setups. But you know what I'm saying. Just write like an introductory thing to where we know where you're going, so we understand where all this passion and all that drive and all that push is coming from. You know what I'm saying. So we don't catch it on the back end. But yeah, man. I would say this is probably the highest score I've given tonight. So I'll go with a 7.
All right, 7. Got you, Redline. Michelle the Shooter. It's on you.
Yeah, I won't reiterate anything about the performance. You heard it. You got to slow down a bit. But I'm also from New York, so we talk fast. I'm actually surprised that Red Lion didn't like it as much. The pace reminds me of you, Red Lion. As much as you want, you be spitting, homeboy. You be spitting. So in terms of just poets who I think they give you that same rhythmic, but also that I'm dope with a lot of biblical references. Red Lion is a phenomenal poet to study in that regard, in terms of people who are wordplay heavy, but readily lean on a lot of that biblical context that you're trying to add in there. And also look at Baltimore Slam. They are the champs of wordplay, rhyme, rhythm, just going all in on that musicality. So those are some poets that I would recommend that you look at. For me, I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
All right, 7.5. All right, Jada Sage, I appreciate you, my man. We'll go ahead and put you backstage. And y'all listen, she had a little bit of technical difficulties. We was backstage. I think she worked it out. Y'all, we about to get us a run again. Put your hands together for Madam President. Let's go.
We good?
Perfect.
Today I met a lady boarding a bus with 8 children. As the driver loaded their luggage, her husband kissed her and said his farewells. Amongst the 8 was a little girl. Full, dark, thick hair braided into plaits and the clearest, richest, most brown skin I had ever seen. Hands no bigger than my palms and a voice so small that I know the world couldn't hear her. I knew this little girl. She had no innocence beyond her eyes because the world had already stolen that. She had no privilege in her pockets because they were too full with struggle. She was already burdened with poverty and pumped with the sickness of the world like steroids, forcing her to grow up too fast. Her experience has been expedited because she was born without the cloak of protection some of our parents desperately wished to cover us in, but came up short. Short like her arms that would reach for help, but came up short. Short like her legs that would be the only thing she has to carry her through this journey, a journey that ends with that sickness either poisoning her, corroding her mind with fear, pumping hate through her heart, corrupting her spirit with pain, or it would turn her into walking courage, an infectious love, a condescent spirit. I know this little girl today. I met me. Today, I met my blood. It greeted me with excitement in its arms. It looked at me with familiarity in its eyes. It laughed with me with joy in its heart. It danced with me. It sang with me. It thought with me. So it grieved with me for loss. Loss of time, for the aborted birth of our memories because I was too busy to pick up a phone. So it hurt with me with regret. It exhausted me from running. It reminded me of the strongest bond there is and made me love it unconditionally. There was me and all of them, and there they were in me. It mirrored me. It matched me. When I needed something, it reached for it. When I inhaled, it exhaled. When I thought it wasn't there, it was. Today, I met my blood and it bled with me. Today, I met a woman. Well, I was reintroduced to a woman that fed me on her table, that taught me to bathe in her tub, to fight back on her block. I was reintroduced to Superwoman, and she had no idea that she was my hero. She had no idea that I mimicked the resilience she showed, that I tried to embody her means to be herself at all times, that I've always wanted my own because, baby, people can't have what's really yours until you hand it to them. Well, did you hand your mind over to the illness? Are you no longer yourself without the memories that made you? Are you no longer resilient? Fight this disease like you taught me. Cleanse yourself of this sickness. Starve it because I need you, even though you won't remember. Today, I met my grandmother. And I know I will meet her again someday. Today, I met my past. Today, I know my present. Today, I saw my future.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Madam President. All right, it's on you, Uno.
Madam President, thank you for your piece. Thank you for sharing. I was waiting on you at the door. The poetry slam just started. Welcome to J.O. Speaks Poetry Slam. No disrespect to other poets, but the camera angle, you talking about the little you reflecting back on the little you, and you looking down. So it gave me the feel of a little girl looking up. Perfect. Your control, your pace, it was engaging. I understood exactly. You had a beginning, a climax, and a landing. It was good. You had a few little stumbles. I wish you could have looked at me just a little bit more to utilize your whole space. But with that being said, it's going to be my high score tonight. It's going to be 8.6. Thank you.
All right, 8.6. Hi, Kimberly Stewart.
So, Madam, nice to meet you, my love. Yeah, like I said earlier, there's a difference between an amateur and a professional. You still have some growing to do in getting into your authenticity. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But there's a difference between you and everybody else who's gone thus far. You commanded the stage the best you knew how. And you told us a story. Thank you. Thank you for telling us her arms were short. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for telling us how she was feeling in the look in her eye because the world had already taken her innocence. You notice this is the first poem that I have really been able to recite the lines back to any poet. Completely understood. I'm gonna tell you what threw me off was the very end. You started making me think, dang, she said there was 8 children and now she's talking about seeing her past, present, and future. So are these her cousins? Like, how do we get to the grandma? I don't know what it is about y'all and these grandmas. I'm gonna need y'all to connect the dots with these grandmas. Y'all gonna just put the grandma in the poem. I'm gonna need y'all to tell us why. Okay, you can't just grandma didn't ask to be here. Okay, so I'm gonna need y'all to figure out how to tell us that grandma's here better than y'all are doing. But other than that, like, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So with all of that being said, my love, hold on, I wrote down your score and then I stopped looking at my notes, my bad. Okay, so with all of that being said, I'm gonna give you an 8.2. I enjoyed you. I can't wait to see you again.
All right, 8.2. Y'all be on that poets roll, kicking it off with Tamara Blue. Let's go.
I liked your style. I liked your voice. I like your tone. I enjoyed the way you had your camera set up. I liked the starting of your poem. I thought that you were going to go into kind of like a spiritual shadow work situation where you're talking about healing your childhood self, because you did start saying you've seen yourself, but there was some confusion in the grandma part. But I will say, if I was at a venue, I would want to come and talk to you after and find out, like, did you have some experience spiritually where like your grandma came to you, or were you your grandma? Like, I would definitely be intrigued to want to know more about the poem. So I think that's a big deal. So big ups to you for that. I'll go 7.5.
All right, 7.5. All right, Red Lion, it's on you.
Yeah. Like I told Jay, like we don't need to tell you that you're a great writer. A little bit different than what I'm used to hearing from you typically. So that was refreshing. This is what I'll say if I could offer a critique. As much as I love your voice and your cadence, I would for that type of poem, I would love for you to experiment with different tonalities of your voice. Like, make us feel that portion whenever you first introduce us to your grandmother, right? Because at the rhythm you were going in, it like, you don't want to rush through it. You know what I'm saying? You want to draw us into that moment, you know? You want to make us feel that. And like, you know what I'm saying, I get like, you know, the rhythm thing and everything. But I think for that particular piece of poetry, like, you know what I'm saying, let us sit in that moment with you. You know what I'm saying? Let us look up to. You know, let us look back and reflect on our grandmothers too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never gonna get tired of hearing grandma pieces. You know, I don't know what Kim talking about. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. But
I just want a proper introduction. That's all. That's all. Don't just leave grandma out there like that. Just springing grandma on us. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man. But yeah, sis. Yeah, but that's what I would say. And because I know, like, because I've heard your writing before, I know that you are a better writer. And I know that you could have easily, like, you know what I'm saying, took that a whole, like you could have really took us to a couple different places. But yeah, man, as the poem stands, as it's written and as it was performed, that's going to be an 8 for me.
All right, 8. All right, Lachelle, the shooter. It's on you.
Yeah, I'd like to see you break this poem into 2 different things, potentially. You want to talk about your grandmother, but you also want to talk about yourself. And because I didn't see the complete bridge, I would like you to try that. Like, write yourself completely into this poem, without leveraging an additional person as a clutch. Speak to that little girl and what that little girl is experiencing. So I would love to see you, like Tamara said, like it made you want to ask questions, but I think you want to actually answer those questions in the poem so that people can really relate to you in that, so they don't feel that separation when you start to introduce a second character into the poem. But other than that, I think it's again, well done. And once you start to play with the emotion and actually tapping in and writing that honest poem for yourself, I think it'll actually be a well done piece. So for that, I'll start with the 7, a 9.
7.9. All right, Lachelle. Hey, Madam President, I appreciate you so much. Yo, dope piece. We're gonna put you backstage. Y'all, we about to keep this night rolling. Listen up. I don't know how the ladies are just taking it over tonight. Give it up for Jaylee Poetry, y'all. Let's go.
Just a single word holds so much power. Promise, a common word, but the foundation of a tower. The tower we build are our relationships with other people, creating friendships and partnerships. Promises are not just common. It holds us accountable of our actions like a lawman. The tower, our trust, we put faith in our relationship until we distrust. Promise becomes much more powerful when we put I or you in front, leaving the individual hopeful in the foundation we have made. Once promises break, it cracks the foundation like a blade. The tower starts to shake. With each broken promise, pieces of the towers break. Trust slowly crumbling away. As foundation weakens, we feel betrayed. Promises hold our trust in relationships so they will not turn to dust. But God's promise is the only foundation we should trust.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Straight to the point. Uno, it's on you.
He is muted. Oh no, you're muted.
Thank you for your piece. Thank you for sharing. Oh, you didn't play around. You came in, you said what you had to say. You got on out of the way. Visually it felt like you were a little kind of like nervous. I can feel it in the delivery a little bit. And once you settle in next week, I think you're gonna do phenomenal. You ain't play around, but it was still kind of just like middle of the road. I know you can go harder. I know you can add a little more emotion and a little more inflection in your voice. With that being said, 7.5, solid score.
All right, 7.5. Kimberly Stewart.
So at church they say, I'm gonna go ahead and get out your way real quick, and then they say something, and then the church go up and they do no, like real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like after that, I was gonna hear Mother so and so do that yelp, that scream, and then we was really gonna go in, because that first go in ain't quite the go in that really go in. You know what I'm saying? I say all that to say I saw you looking at us. I was like, does she have a teleprompter? Like, what is she looking at? Because she clearly is not looking at us. Like, you have mastered some form, some Jedi mind trick form of looking through us. Like, there had to be something or somebody or someone, a pet, a doggy, or something right on the other side of your phone. And I modeled for years. You know how many times we would tell models, like, look through the phone, but you have to actually focus on something. And you were not necessarily focused on us. You were focused on getting this poem out. And you were focused on probably not being as bad as some of the other poets in your mind. Like, I don't want to do what they did, so let me come and do this. I appreciated the length of that poem, though, because come on, girl. Like, don't say no more than what you got to say. So, yeah, I hope that you're here next week. I'm going to give you a 7.
All right, 7.
Damn, I know you model, girl. Do it, girl. Do it.
All right, Tamara Blue, it's on you.
Peace, Jaylee. I think that piece was too short for a slam, in my personal opinion. We were waiting for you to get started. I was waiting for you to get started. I heard what you was about to talk about, and then I was like, oh, she about to rip. So keep writing on that one. For the performance, this is going to be random. I don't know what this has to do with. It looks like you used your phone in selfie mode, so you're looking at yourself. But if that's not the case, just look above your camera and don't look at yourself. And it'll give the audience online the idea that you're looking at them. Because when I'm talking like this, you think I'm looking at you, and I want you to know what's going on. Compared to me just talking like this, it looks like I'm just looking at myself. But give thanks. It was too short. I'm going to have to go with a 6.3.
All right, 6.3. Solid. All right, Red Lion, it's on you.
Man, so I'm in agreement with Blue on that one. It wasn't necessarily even the length of the poem. It was just, I felt like with the message of promise being the foundation, right? The thing about, like, you know, whenever you're introducing yourself to a crowd, especially for the first time, you have to give us an opportunity to fall in love with you, to get to know you, like, or at least the message in which you're trying to relate to us, making a connecting point. And while, you know, promise being the foundation, you know, is like beautiful in and of itself, the length of that poem, I felt like did hurt the messaging just a little bit. I felt like you could have definitely, like, you know, told it, like, made more parallels between what promise are you talking about? What tower are you talking about? Right. You know, and it was really, like, you know, it was straight to the point and everything. Another thing is, I don't know, like, I couldn't tell if you were reading, but the pauses that you were taking in between, a lot of those pauses, like in the case that you weren't reading, a lot of those pauses were just unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? You could have easily just, like, you know, flowed right into the next slide, but it's like, yeah. So like I said, I don't know if you were reading or if those pauses were strategic, but if those were your strategic pauses, I would take some of those pauses out because it does take away from the performance aspect. Otherwise, I don't think that the poem was badly written. I just think that, you know, yeah, I just needed to understand and connect with it more. And I felt like I connected to it to a point, and then it was over. So with that, I give you 7.2.
All right, 7.2. Solid. All right, Lachelle the Shooter.
Hey, so I actually don't have a problem with the length at all. In slam, there's 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes. There's all kinds of ranges, so it can go anywhere. What I'll challenge you to do, right, if you don't want to go longer, because the last line is a solid line, what you just want to do is when you have a shorter poem, you have to make sure every line is extremely intentional, right? And see how you can craft each line to be able to stand on its own, right? So when you start talking about that tower, how can we extend that metaphor in one sentence? When you're saying that the foundation is broken, how do we extend that metaphor and make it solid in one sentence? So the length isn't necessarily the problem. You just have to pack more punch if you want to retain that length. Or the alternative is you need to extend the poem so you can get deeper if you're not prepared to like challenge the writing more. But with that said, it's still a succinct poem. I get where you were trying to go, and you can probably, it's some editing, it's some revision, can probably get it there. I'll give you a 7.
All right, 7. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but tonight the judges are spot on. Like, if you're just an aspiring poet, yo, these comments and commentary is everything for me. Hey, Jaylee Poetry, I appreciate you. We're going to put you backstage, y'all. We're about to get it going, y'all. Hey, we got some fellas that's hitting the mic now, y'all. We got to get some masculine energy, y'all. Put your hands together. We about to get it going. My man, Bars. Let's go.
For fractured poets who have considered never competing again after receiving a low score on a poetry slam, / when the open mic is enough. Is there anything more gut-wrenching than spilling your guts on a stage until all 22 feet of your small intestine are wrapped around the stand of the microphone, and you could barely stand, but all the lights are on, and both your legs are trembling with the inside of your boots resembling an 8.6 on the Richter scale? Because you know that as an artist, we don't get to fail in public because it just might lead to our passing in private. Is there anything more deafening than a crowd rewarding your sacrifice of silence? Deciding which poems to use in a slam is akin to cutting yourself open and choosing which organs to offer to strangers for their approval. Like, how can you have 10 of my ribs in possession and still give me a 7? If I throw in my pancreas, there's no way it gets lower than an 8, especially if I throw it on a plate. And heck, if I toss in both kidneys, they might just do. But if I add in my colon, I don't think I can stomach anything lower than a 9.2. And you know what? Since I had my appendix removed as a kid, that's one of the organs that I can never use again. So maybe if I cut out my one heart and place it on the side where it used to reside, the combination of the 1 next to the 0 will produce a 10. These are the parts of me that everyone else hardly sees, and a few never do. I love both my parents, but those two never knew about my painkiller addiction, and they still don't. But one of my most common fan requests is, hey, when you gonna spit that pill poem? And when you're done, I want you to spit that one where you're crying. I don't actually want you to kill yourself, but I want you to spit that one about dying. I mean, what's wrong with cutting your stitches to reopen wounds in an open room where even if they give you your flowers, you still have to hope they bloom? By judges, and not just the 5 who justify if I get to stay alive, if I continue to survive. This whole world loves the prosecutors, so I guess that makes me the defendant. I did the crime. I mean, I wrote the poem, but unlike a real courtroom, I don't get a chance to defend it. Am I not entitled to a fair trial by a jury of my peers? I will not be bridled by a bare smile when the fury reappears. I don't need that feedback where you fake and friendly. You know me from my poetry, but I've been distancing myself socially long before COVID made it trendy. Had my face behind a mask before and after the panoramic broke. Poetry has always been my antidote, so no, you don't get to judge me. And I'd love to see you attempt to hold me in contempt, because when it comes to these hands, no one is exempt. Let's see you stand in this spotlight and not fight about every last grieving score they give you. Because I know a heavy poem could be heartbreaking to listen to, but it's even more to live through. Peace.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Thank you for your piece, Bars. Uno. Hey, it's on you. I just stole your line. I'm sorry.
Get out my line. Lord. Thank you for your... Nah, that's me. Thank you for your piece. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing. That opener was a doozy, my boy. You came with that action. You came with that action for real. And, it was a great topic, bro. It was a great shift on what we done heard. Grandma done raised every baby that done came through here, and you changed it up. And I appreciate that. I guess I gotta be the prosecutor today. You said you felt a certain way by being judged, and I'm judging you. And with that being said, bro, you're gonna get the high score tonight, 8.9. Appreciate you.
Let's go, 8.9. Let's go. Kimberly Stewart, it's on you.
Listen, Grandma, it's her bedtime. Okay, Grandma ain't here. Okay, y'all go and put her to bed now. And I mean that. Like, if one of the other poets, y'all got some grandma in your poems that's coming up after that, just know I might just score you low just because of that. I'm just saying, I'm real authentic. Anywho, I literally enjoyed that. You tickled me. Okay, bars. I'm gonna be talking about you till next week. Like, you tickled me. I was sitting back here yelling. Like, I'm so glad that I was on mute because I was being real black at the movie theater with my popcorn. I was getting ready to throw some at the screen. I was like, boy, you better. Yes. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I do want to say, though, as a critique, like, you could have performed that better. What the hell you holding back for? What you doing? Where you at? We don't know you. You should have killed that, like murdered it. And you kind of brought it. You're that good that you did it so well, but you kind of brought it. If we were in person and you did that, you wouldn't have won. And so you're not winning on the virtual. Ain't no way he should have gave you, what you just give him, Uno?
8.9.
8.9? Ain't no way you should be getting an 8.9. What's wrong with you? I don't even know you, but I'm fussing. Anywho, I'm going to give you a 9, and I hope that I never give you a 9 again. Okay?
Let's go. All right, y'all. We on that Poets Row. Hey, she said this was a slam-ready poem. What say you, Tamara Blue?
I think that was a real coachable poem. I coached slam for a while. I thought it was a coachable slam poem. Interesting enough, like usually like they say don't write a poem for a slam. I love how you wrote a poem for a slam, but not. And if there was a critique, bring the numbers back in towards the end, even if you're starting to count your traumas, I do the sad poem and get your 8, because subliminally, when you're at a real slam, the judges are just going to go off of those numbers. So I'm going to give you a 9.2 because you said it in the poem.
Let's go. I love it. Red Lion.
Polished, refined. You obviously do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. There's not really too much I can say. To Kim's point, yeah, you could have really just ate that, bro. You could have. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, don't hold back like that again. Because I want all of your organs. I want the brain. I want the heart. I want the liver. I want the, I want all of it. You feel me? But yeah, no. And I think this is actually a really good example whenever we talk about knowing your judges, knowing who's in the room. You have a panel of predominantly poets. So of course, if you do a poem, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we're going to connect with it. If we were a panel of all white people or something like that, and you did a poem that catered to I was gonna say black. We already black, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
but like if it was all educators or something different.
Man, let me make my point. Blue, dang.
I'm new to the platform. I'm new.
That's the problem with the church now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But anyway, to my point. So, like, obviously, so the point that I was trying to make is if we were all white panel, you coming in with, like, say, a pro-black poem might not hit as hard, which was the point that I was trying to make. So you have to know who your judges are, because you're trying to get the judges on your side. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it was I think it was a really clever thing, knowing that you were going to be judged by poets. You know what I'm saying? And coming out with a poem like that, really strategic. It's definitely a chess game for you, and I can see that. I am curious to see how far you will go in this competition. Right now, I feel as if, based off of everybody I've heard, and I'll say this confidently, I think that you are the poet to beat. So with that being said, I will give you a 9.
All right, 9. Michelle, the shooter, it's on you.
Yeah, I appreciate the relevance of it. It was the right poem for the setting, so good decision on that part. I have a mixed bag with this because one thing that we're always challenged as slam poets is, like, if you're gonna attack the slam, you're gonna have to come hard. And it's a good poem, but it ain't hard enough for you to come attack the slam. That's like my opinion of it, right? Like, you still made this choice to get up here and spill blood. And if you offering it, that's your choice, right? Like, you gotta, that's a choice that we make as poets. So the poet in me appreciates it, right? Because we do know that poems that are often rooted in trauma do win the slam most often. But that is a decision that we have made as a collective. And as a judge, I don't owe you nothing. So the judge in me is like, I'm a judge right now in your seat. The poet in me loves it, but the judge in me is like, I still a 9, I guess.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We got you for the 9. I don't know about y'all, yo. I love hearing Lachelle, the shooter's critique. Like, it's hard sitting in that last seat because it's like everybody has said everything, but y'all, she not just second in the world for no reason, y'all. She's clever, yo. These are bars. Bars. Speaking of which, thank you for your piece, my man. Hey, we're gonna put you backstage. We're gonna keep this thing going. Hey, everybody take your hand like this and say hi. Because next up, we got High Tice.
All right. Can you guys hear me clearly? Cool. And just for clearance, it's Hey Tice. Just want to be respectful. I'm gonna hop into it. Who am I? I'm the price of a test. And I feel the closest to the belief that some people cost more and at times I'm just worth less. Others can be bought. So I try to ride society's waves and I realize I should probably surf less. See, my feeling is buried beneath my voice instead on the surface of my tongue, but I stay spitting excuses like pumpkin in New York, and you wonder what my flavor of love is. So who am I? I'm a tree with no branches. What was once my arms, now an axe hacking at my Facebook until I log out. Now I'm a number 2 pencil because everything I say is pointless. Every word I write is sketchy. All you see is black when you look my direction, and it's never a dull moment. But I feel like I have to draw your attention because I'm coming to you with more slits in my wrist and in my pants, and yet I'm still spilling out my jeans. I'm a father with his back against the wall with a gun in his mouth with no bullets, so they're waiting on my next flick. Therefore, this courting is still a free trial, but best believe I will still go off. I'm modern day depression without decompressing my feelings and expecting life to lift me. But I don't have an account. Even on my worst days, I press on. I'm a Grand Theft Auto without committing a Grand Theft Auto. 0 G codes. Already got 5 stars. No reset button. And it feels like my grandfather wasn't the only one whose world was at war too. And this is no call to duty, but I am an Avenger. I take so many iron pills, I'm my daughter's favorite, Iron Man. And I'm always suited because I Iron Man, but I'm still finding myself like I'm coming to America. A gun with the serial number scraped off because maybe I'm not quite there. Or I could be the one blind bent in the living room at the 90-degree angle because some of my stuff is visible when it shouldn't be. Maybe this is God's voice blessing you from someone else's mouth. And this is when opportunity presents itself, and now perfection has a chance to make someone better. Now surface blessings growth like a beard. I service those I get near, and now it's cursive words spoken in your ear because I'm fancy. And I'm ready to bless these stages because I'm antsy. And now God's telling me it's my time like I'm Annie. So my specialty is in wordplay. Like a brain teaser, I use different analogies that intertwine like a crossword puzzle. See, I be a gunslinger with a wordsmith vocabulary. These different caliber bars will go on one side and not the other like a bad kid with Q-tips in his ear. So who am I? I'm Tice. But you raving more about these punchlines than you did with Ray Rice, and I'm gambling with God about my life when he don't even know I shaved the dice. And I'm cold as ice, but if you look at me the wrong way, I'm Medusa, your Buddha, too late, I'm stoned. I spoke blasphemy into existence, and now I'm playing Goliath in a film only David should be starring in. Poem.
All right, my bad, my bro. Hey, Tice, give it up.
Hey, yo.
Let's
Yes.
go. Uno, it's on you. No.
Nice. I appreciate you. Thank you for your piece. Thank you for sharing. It was clear. Your pace was nice. Your bars, it gave me a battle rap vibe, like just on the softer notion. Like you ain't yell at me, but it gave me some battle. It gave me battle rap. You and bars, yeah. I would like to see y'all on the stage together, going head to head. That'd be dope.
I appreciate the statement from earlier when you said he was a poet to beat. So that was yeah.
Oh, that was Red Lion. Red Lion stamp.
Oh, Red Lion stamp. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Red Lion stamp.
I'm sorry.
No. You good. You good. So with your piece, man, it was nice, but it wasn't memorable. So I want you to give me, and it could be memorable because you got the pen. I just think you need to give me a little more emotion in it, just a little more, because you kept it was almost monotone. You had the inflections, but they didn't go too high. They didn't go too low. You stayed right in the safe space. So I would like to see you get a little more vulnerable in that piece. With that being said, man, 8.6. I appreciate it.
All right, 8.6. Kimberly Stewart.
Hey, Tice. Hey. So, Tice, I don't like poets like you. This is hard. This is a hard critique for me. You're the type of poet, when I used to do poetry, that I would hate to see coming, and I would come and eat them up every single time.
What that poetry look at?
I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why is because you start on a topic and then you get narcissistic. The end of that poem had no reason to be in that poem. Like, you just spit bars. Why are you telling us you spit bars? For why? Like, for what? Like, we not stupid. Nobody listening to you is that stupid. I'm being harsh. I don't dislike you that much. I'm just telling you how you make me feel, especially as a woman who encounters narcissistic men on a daily basis that like are trying to deliver D to my mailbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta remember who you're talking to. You're talking to a judging panel of 3 women, and poets themselves. You don't know that I'm a poet. I haven't done poetry in over a decade, but you have no clue, right? And so you telling me that you are who you are after you did what you did that had nothing to do with you being this wordsmith. Like, I completely forgot what the first part of the poem was about, but I know it wasn't about the last part of the poem. And so now I'm sitting here talking to you about that. Like, absolutely blew yourself up for no apparent reason. Like, none. You would have, like, I probably would have given you at least an 8.5. but I'm gonna give you a 5 to stay alive, and hopefully you'll be here next week.
All right, 5. All right, y'all. We on the Poets Row. Tamara Blue, it's on you.
So I'm new to this, but I like just disagree with that whole thing, and I just wanted to say it out loud. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but
no, we never have to agree ever.
Okay. I was listening to the piece and I was like, all right, he needs to say, who am I again, or you're going to lose him. And every time I wanted you to say it again, you hit me with a who am I, and then some follow-up of who you were. I felt I did get lost in it. I felt a little disconnected, I should say. And that could have been either your performance or your intonation. Yes, it's your performance, just how you chose to deliver it. Similar to the same critique I've given everyone, just figure out who you're talking to. Because when you asking who am I with one energy to one person, or like whoever you're talking to, I don't think you have to perform a certain way for certain judges. Rip your piece, but make it, what's the word? This is for everybody. When you go on stage, make your shit stuff unforgettable. Just period. Unforgettable in whichever way you do it, because you have the lyric, the writing and the words are there. So now it's just about you getting the rest of your body in tune with who you say you are. So be that. I'm keeping with my scoring type style. I'm gonna have to give you a 7.
All right, 7. Red Lion, it's on you.
So you didn't like my comment before, huh? Okay. All right. I said what I said. Nah, don't go back on it now. Nah, ain't no respectfully. Nah. I'm messing with you, Papa. I'm a sucker for a good punchline, and I'm a sucker for good imagery. It was good. Right, like it was good. It was so good. Like the rip pants, like the cuts in the pants, and I was like, oh, you're writing right. All right. With that being said, it needs to be a lot more grittier. If you're gonna be, if you're gonna be that, then be that, like all the way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're naturally a soft-spoken guy. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. I admire that. But for that kind of poem, nah, I need all the grit that you got. You know what I'm saying? I need you to make those lines hit like every single time. It was very battle rap-ish. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that you have to make it like a battle rap, but man, I need some grunge. I need it to come from your gut. You know what I'm saying? Because even though you were saying it, I didn't believe it all the way. You know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, the piece in and of itself was not a bad piece. And I hate to give you a score this high. I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't my highest score tonight, though. Nah, you ain't my highest score tonight. But man, you got an 8.7 for me.
All right, 8.7. Michelle the Shooter.
Yeah, it's about to be 1 a.m. here, bro, and I gotta get up in 4 hours. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. I'm sorry.
Michelle, we can't hear you. I think you're on mute, Michelle.
My fault. So I'm just gonna start by saying I'm gonna give you an 8, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. I like wordplay. I do like wordplay, right? But also, right, I'm in the camp of poets, right? And I think somebody said it in the comments, right? You gotta hit that Baltimore stroll. Battle rap is very much so poetry, and wordplay is a beautiful thing to use in poetry. But one, your wordplay was a little too all over the place for me, right? Like you were trying to mix in, like I got the superhero references, and I was like, oh, we about to go nerd heavy, we about to play with this nerd. But then you started mixing up movies of wild different genres all over the place. Like Annie came in with Coming to America, and I'm like, it's a lot kind of all over the place type of thing. So we want to be real concise when we give in wordplay, so we don't send people in a lot of different directions, different tangents, right? And also your tone when we going into battle rap, it like Red Lion said, like we want grit. But if you don't want to do grit, but you want to do that wordplay, two different directions you can go. Look at Kenneth Something, who's phenomenal in wordplay, but he also gives us a lot of that like watery in your emotions type play, phenomenal. And then you have Black Chakra, who's hard down battle rap, and you'll see the grit, but you know what's happening. So those are like two dichotomies to look at if you want to stay in that wordplay, battle rap type of category, and see where you stand in on the spectrum, or how you can craft your poems to be well-rounded in both areas.
For sure. Solid advice, y'all. Hey, we are almost through the show, y'all. This is making the cut. This is series 10. Y'all, we got about 5 to 4 more poets to go. So we're going to keep it rolling, y'all. They already backstage. Put your hands together for the next poet, S. Wordsmith. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Y'all can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So this piece is called Suicide. A beautiful woman named Sue. Beauty on the outside appearance, only if they knew what was clearly apparent. Apparently, few would see how she held on to the past. Tragedies came to be, what she covered up with laughs. Laughter was her best disguise. She barely recognizes her face as she creates all these lies, what a great mind should waste. Wasted time on the sorrow, God's goals never achieved. How can you see the blessings of tomorrow if today never leaves? Leaving her mark in this world, she'll never obtain because of what she witnessed as a girl is everyone's blame. Blaming drinks to hide the pain, dying a little bit more each day. Unable to comprehend that after rain, rainbows are on display. Displaying faith and hope, she's been done with that. The pills are how she now copes. To God, she has turned her back. Backed into a final corner, she begins to fight. Realizing her life needs order, she turns to the light. Lightning strikes one night, change, or you surely die. Guess she got tired of life, pushing Sue aside. Thank you.
Let's go. It's that Wordsmith. All right, Uno, it's on you.
S. I appreciate your piece. Thank you for sharing. From what I've heard so far tonight, this sounded a little. It was, I don't know. It seemed like the rhyme scheme was predictable. Like the cadence was very at the end. All the punches came at the end. The delivery, it lacked emotion. It lacked emotion. It lacked inflection for me. That being said, 6.5.
All right, 6.5. Kimberly Stewart.
Hey, Wordsmith. So yeah, like this poem was nice. It was a nice poem. And this was a poetry reading poem. Like again. And I'm literally driving this home because we're now in season 10. I have been a co-host judge for 9 seasons. And slam is slam. It's something different. It's not the same. Poetry readings is where everybody just comes and says Ashe. We're not really judging you. We're all just coming to share our pieces. This is competition. And you know what I'm saying? Like, as you can see, we have our opinions about it because it is you against another poet. And so, although it was a nice piece, you know, it was definitely what Uno said. I'm not going to repeat all of that, but yeah, you're nice. It was nice. It's just not necessarily for the competition. I really thank you for being here. And so I'm gonna give you a 5.
All right, 5. All right, y'all, we on that poets roll. Tamara Blue.
7. I felt the same way as I did about the last one. Like, it was cool, but it didn't show out. I liked the wordplay. I liked the way that I liked the sound of your voice, if that makes sense. I think that's something that you could lean into. So that was cool. But yeah, I mean, it was solid, but it's not winning the slam. It's a 7.
Got you. Okay. All right. Red Lion, it's on you.
Okay. So, and I mean, I think this goes without saying, right? Art is a very subjective thing. Everybody has preferences. Everybody has, their idea about it. With that being said, I didn't hate the piece at all. It reminded me of A Dream Deferred by Langston Hughes, just by the progression of it, the tonality of your voice. I really appreciate. I think this poem would be good in the background of a video. Like if I'm listening to a video of something like Going by the Screen, or you know what I'm saying, or the topic was suicide, right? So we see people struggling with different afflictions or addictions and everything like that. So I can literally hear that poem. Like if I'm a client who needs a poem for like Mental Health Awareness Month, I'm picking that poem because I think that poem is good for like a commercial or an advertisement. With that being said, like, to everybody's point, since it's a competition, right? And you're competing against other poets, to put that against some of the other stuff that we've heard right there and everything, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? Once again, art is subjective. So it's not a bad, I don't believe it's a bad piece at all. But I think in the context and what we're doing here, it doesn't necessarily fit for what's going on. So I'm gonna give it a 7 as well.
All right, 7. Solid. All right, Lachelle the Shooter, it's on you.
I don't mind a poem hitting the slam stage that isn't written for the slam. That's an honest poem. So I'm gonna disagree with like, hey, it's not a slam poem. Like if that's what you want to put on the stage, that's what you want to put on the stage. But I will say I would like to have seen you more in this poem, right? You're talking about somebody else's specific suicide, or like you said, she a lot. What does that mean for you also, right? To make me connect, because like when you're talking about something in third person, it makes it hard for the rest of us to really like connect with you as the person, right? Because we're not sure what this means for you completely. So that's it. But otherwise, yeah, I'm with it and I'm okay with the content of it. I like that. I appreciate that. So I'm also gonna give it a 7.5.
All right, 7.5. Solid. All right, S. Dot. Appreciate you, bro, for your piece. Awesome work. We're going to go ahead and put you backstage. Y'all, we about to keep this thing rolling. Y'all put your hands together for the Afro Native. Let's go.
Okay. When was the last time that you stopped to help a man or a woman who was struggling for their last breath, crying out to you, so then they pain out to be felt by someone with a heart, someone who is brave, someone who doesn't have their phones out receiving their message delayed because in that loading time it takes, it'll already be too late. Messages filtered through a 6.1-inch screen, desensitizing the emotions meant to be felt in their screams just for you to capture it. Saying that you're a witness to post it with a caption with wise words of an activist, hoping that others will get your message. Looking for a reaction that just leads to reposts and more captions. To go by into another week or so. Gunned down, police brutality, different face but the same old scenarios. When was the last time that we took a stand? Hand in hand saying that if you shoot, you shooting at me too. Or at least broke up a fight instead of enticing or ridiculing it. See, these phones act as a barrier, desensitizing the real messages from being sent. So please put down the phones. It's time that we really stepped in. But I get it. You're afraid of what could happen to you. But would we be where we are if our ancestors were afraid too? That's it.
Oh, we were all muted when we were clapping. Sorry, Afro Native. That was.
Thank you.
No. Uno.
Afro Native, thank you for your piece. Thank you for sharing. It was a smooth delivery, short and to the point. But I gotta be honest. It wasn't memorable. Not saying it wasn't good, it just wasn't memorable. So I look forward to seeing what you do next week and bringing a little more emotion, a little more inflection, and give me a little more passion. 7.5, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, 7.5. Kimberly Stewart.
Hey, Afro Native. So I love your voice. Like, you have one of those voices that we know it's you when you enter the stage. Unfortunately for you and everybody else that has gone after you, Bars came in and like did his thing. And so everybody is being compared to, honestly. I know in my critiques, it's that when a poet comes in the room and they do their thing, this is a slam, it's a competition, and so you have to compete. Red Lion already said it, he's the poet to beat. So what are we doing to do that? And so your poem was good. There's a lot that I like about you. There's a lot that I could critique about you, but I just want to say, like, you're too good to come in and concede, right? Don't concede the poem, like, don't concede the competition just because. Like, come in and compete. You know what I'm saying? Like, really compete. Like, this is you. And I think that you probably are going to be a little bit of a dark horse. So I look forward to seeing you. I'm going to give you a 7.
All right, 7. All right, in that poet's roll, Tamara Blue, it's on you.
That was a 7 for me.
Okay.
It was a good poem. I mean, similar to like the last 3 poems, the way that they feel, like those would be good poems to bring to your slam team. And I'm only judging this way because it's a slam, and it seems like we're supposed to be slammy judging. But in that aspect, that would be a good poem to bring to your team to bust and either make it a group piece or just go further with it, because there's so many directions you can go with that distraction of those phones. Like, you were in there, so just expand it a little bit and just kind of, same way as the last 3 people, own what you're saying so hard. Just own it. But thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Red Lion, it's on you.
Okay, 2 things I'll say. And I mentioned this before. One, be cognizant of the pauses that you take in between lines, so that the poem doesn't sound like it's dragging, right? I think once you got toward like the mid to the latter part of the poem, you started flowing a little bit more, but just be cognizant of when you need to take a pause and when you don't need to take a pause. The other thing I'll say is this. I feel like you're a much better writer, in my opinion. It just sounds like, you're a better writer, and it sounds like, you could have extended or expanded on a lot of those ideas that you had, right? I think to everybody's point, but for whatever reason, maybe you didn't feel like you needed to. And I mean, I'm saying that's the artist's choice and everything, but I really feel like you could have really just, yeah, man, it's just a lot I felt you could have done with that particular poem, but it was still a solid poem, in my opinion, to me. So it's going to be like 7.3 for me.
All right, 7.3, solid. All right, Lachelle.
Yeah. So the only thing I would do, I would challenge you to start with the line where you said the phones are the distraction that desensitize us. Try starting there and build from there. because I think that's like the crux of what you're trying to get us to, right? Especially if you want to keep it like shorter in length, or even if you want to expand. I think if you start there, like start your poem there so we know immediately, and you dive in and go in, I think that it'll really reshift how you think about that poem, so that when you come in, you're coming out the gate swinging, because I think it has a lot of potential. And like Tamara said, like that's one of those poems that you bring to a group that so many people can relate to. You end up with a lot of teen people and a lot of people offering a lot of feedback in that to feed into, or you can just really build a whole world around that central theme. So good start, great basis. A 7.5 for me as well.
All right, 7.5. Oh. All right. Hey, Afro Native, I thank you so much for your piece. I had to go put you backstage, and y'all, we're about to keep this thing going. Yo, he was out in the comments when Bars was spitting. He was like, yo, that's my best friend. Y'all, let's bring him to the stage. Give it up for my man, Symbolic. Let's go.
Ten things I love about my depression. 1, how you grow stronger each season. 2, you talk to me. 3, you never left my side, even when I wrote to be a Hayman. 4, how I hesitate to seek help. 5, I love how is it I made it to 5 reasons why I love my depression, but I can't list 1 for loving me. Hi, my name is Kyle, but I wish my mother named me Depression, but then I have a reason to loving me. 6, how can I be mad? At least something is finally choosing me. 7, my ability to cloak my smile. 8, I love that I've been stuck for a while. 9, the pain feels like a pile of wet clothes. Mildew be the abandonment that I become accustomed to. 10, so when you ask how are you? I say, well, right about now, I'm so fresh to death. I should have ice on my neck to complement my suicidal tendencies. A metaphorical noose to fit the complacency of the Reaper scale. Ice on my wrist to time in the shackles every time I clocked in just to fail. Or maybe I should get ice on my feet, drip Tims with the crystals, because I can no longer afford the trip. For I paid my dues of losing close friends that I've been bitter on this journey to be loved again. I'm so reluctant to change. I'm sorry. I'm so fresh. My life feel like a movie of misery. Netflix and chill, yet these thoughts just don't F away. In every universe, I should feel like a gem. On this ice, I should be shining. Happiness has a silver lining. Breaking into my own heart, I'm mining. Frostbite's be the amount of doubt. I sink my teeth into a Bluetooth canal from these emotions. So you see, y'all, I'm chilling. I'm so fresh to death, I got anxiety. I got anxiety for sale. Yet these words don't hesitate. They often regulate. Right about now, I want to say poem, but y'all think that this poem is all over. But these emotions are over. These tears now forming. So you know I got drip for sale. But I'm frozen. I feel so cold, no, but I no longer chip. Let the ice break, because right about now I'm putting my soul into this poem, trying to find a reason to say that I deserve to be here. Right about now, I would like to say poem without insinuate that this poem is all over, but I'm a closed casket to closed caption. And if death trails is medium, I'll be casting calls for Casper. I'm a best friend to the silhouette, pen to pushing paper, because that's the only time talking to death became a whole lot easier. Handcrafted in, I'm a draft pick. Death's first pick, traded by grief. I'm a lone star. There isn't enough tears to paint this canvas of a broken talent, creating hope to find a broken talent, a narrow thought of callous thoughts. Spoken word is all I have left. Bone fracture. In other words, my hand molded this. Find myself talking to God one-on-one here, that this is his plan. And if this is his plan, I want my refund back. But turn 25, I need that quarterback. This is not what I asked for, man. I want my refund back. And whenever I feel like I'm going mute, I talk to the one thing that only ever listens to me. Poetry. Then I put myself in a crack Tupperware to preserve myself, to keep safe. But all I end up doing is leaking on this stage for trauma bonding. To calm myself down, I want to write against the wall, because that seems to be the only thing that can match my mood's aesthetic. Zigzag to the lines till my feet lay flat, but finally the sole of my feet reflect a frozen silhouette, and the pen to be my pallbearer, carrying me to the end of the sentence so I can make it to the word poem. That's 10 things of depression. If you ask how am I, I'd say I want to live. I just survive.
Let's go. Symbolic. Okay. Uno, it's on you.
Symbolic, thank you for your piece. Thank you for sharing. I usually say slow down. I would say slow down, but nah. On this one, it was quick. It was a quick delivery, but it was clear. It was clear. I can grasp everything. It wasn't ramble. It wasn't pushed together. It wasn't forced. You gave me a lot of inflection. You gave me the proper amount of emotion, the proper amount of movement. Your hand movement, your body movement matched your words. It wasn't any extra wasted motions. This was the most believable piece of the night for me. Like, I bought it and like, okay, yeah. So he's pouring his passion out. With that being said, bro, I'll give you an 8.9. I appreciate that.
All right, 8.9. Let's go. All right, Kimberly Stewart.
So Symbolic. Listen, I like when people listen to me. I don't know if you was listening to me or not, but it feel like it. You know what I mean? You came to slam, number one. If I thought about this, like, I feel like you picked this piece specifically after hearing the poets. You know what I'm saying? After hearing the critiques. Now, I could be totally wrong, but that's what it feels like. I agree with Uno on the fast, quick, but clear. And what I also love is that throughout the piece, there was like some hesitations or stumbles. And every single time you backed those up with what you were talking about in the poem. Your poem for me there was another poem that was just as clear, but it wasn't performed as well. Your poem was the clearest from point A to point Z. Not only was it clear, but you wrapped back around to what you originally started the poem with. We had no question. Even if we was trying to get lost on the way, you kept, no, here, come on, give me a hand, let's go. Come on, give me a hand. Come on, this is where we are. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your performance. So all of that being said, and you said you're friends with bars, birds of a feather, like they flocking together tonight. So hold on, I wrote down your score. With all of that being said, I'm gonna give you a 9.1.
All right, 9.1. All right, we hitting that poets row. Tamara Blue, kicking off with you.
I'm gonna go with a 9.3. I like this one better than my highest one that I took notes
Okay.
for. I don't remember who it was. I liked it. I can't wait to hear more poems. I think you remind me of Amir. So like, I feel like if you kind of set into your tone, because your wordplay and your storytelling is beautiful. So if you sat in it a little bit how Amir does with just his voice and not the rah every time, because I'm sure you have multiple poems. But so I can't wait to hear the poem where you're using just this and this to just rip. So I'll see you.
Let's go, 9.3. I love it. Red Lion, it's on you.
So the blessing and the curse of this particular platform is that it's not a traditional poetry slam. In most traditional poetry slams, you get 5 random judges from the crowd, and most of the time those judges are just poetry consumers, right? It's not often that you get people who actively write and people who are actively artists to judge. So saying that to say, I've heard countdown pieces before. If you're going to do a piece that is, similar, right, to, like we've heard countdown pieces before, I would love to hear some uniqueness in it. Maybe an approach that I haven't heard from, or an approach to it that I haven't heard. With that being said, well written, really polished, really sharp, very much, I'm not even going to, because I don't, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, bars is your friend, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really solid. And I mean, I don't have any hard critique for it. I will say at the beginning, there were like times where you kind of ran, like you kind of like went really fast into that initial countdown. So I may have missed a couple of those words and everything. So I would say, just kind of settle down just a little bit, because whenever you actually got into the poem, like to me, I love the pacing of it. It was dope to me. So with that being said, 8.9.
Thank
you. All right, 8.9. All right, Lachelle, the shooter.
Yeah, I'm one of a good poem for me too. The only thing I would see to try out, you don't even have to stick with it because the poem flows, is try it without the numbering. Because I know sometimes the number sometimes takes us out of the poem. It's something that I always have to like be cognizant of and play back and forth when I'm doing list poems too, because that break sometimes when you start numbering can make people be like, maybe I'm stepping back because I'm trying to keep track of the numbers. If you stumble a number, people get thrown off. So sometimes just taking it out, like that's some feedback that I've gotten before. Try it out. It works even with the numbers too, but just see how you feel about it when you don't have the numbers and if it flows a bit more seamless for you when you perform it that way. But up to you to decide. But 8.9 for this as well.
All right, 8.9, y'all. I'm loving the feedback. Like, if you have not stepped on a stage before, if you're still in that novice poetry stage, or if you are a poet, yo, to me, the feedback, the critiques is valuable, y'all. So, y'all, we about to keep this going. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Seems like we about to get out of here soon. Y'all, give it up for the next poet. Give it up for Sunshine Lombre. Let's go.
She's not in the back. We got to get her on. Oh, here she comes. Gotcha.
All right, so they're like having technical difficulties.
Yeah. She was just in. I think maybe I lost connection. I just seen her backstage.
All right, so we're gonna work through it.
Here she is. Hold on.
All right, here we go. Y'all give it up for Sunshine Lombre. Let's go.
Let me do it again.
To the politicians that demonize their citizens but don't understand the heat that they put them in. We are already a city engulfed in flames. Folk like us were born in a burning blaze. You can see the embers glowing in our glaze, glowing in our gaze, glowing in our gaze. Watch as one glance will turn politician glutton into glaze and other races into ramen noodle flavor packets for taste. They too have made ritual of feasting on our bodies. It's only fate for us to trade place because even chickens feast on the flesh of forgotten farmers long before the last days. There's no reason for us to fear hell. Like a phoenix, we rose from the fires, born yelling like a Sunday morning bell, enchanting even Apollo, a daily sun-rising spell that shame the secret centers for the stories they never tell. We are already a city engulfed in flames, buildings radiating from the heat of unmarked graves, sparked from the ancestral fury of murders unclaimed, lighting torches and porches of those that won't accept any blame but will always run away to the nearest golf game. But it's fine. They have time, because here there's no safe place for them to hide. We were born from this blaze, so we can never be torched. We radiate black, brown, and golden shades so our pigments can never be scorched. And we laugh at your burning skin because you can't take this heat. Well, we got smoke for you from you creating infinite dungeons while you commit crimes and hooded cheats, then walk around freely looking like uncooked meat. Well, it's time for a barbecue. The hearth is ready, the coals are steady, and it's time for you to rest. But don't let the sparks and sizzling scare you because it's searing like it's cheering for you. And it's your time to shine. So let the light kiss across your chest and go ahead and lie. Lie back, lie down, lie around, just lie. Go lie. Lie like you'll save you from this heat. Lie like you'll stop the gnashing of your teeth. Just lie. Lie just like your founding fathers did. Just lie. Lie again and again. Roll over, change your mind, and lie again and again and again and again and again and again. Just lie. One more time and make this one matter. Because this will be your end.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, as late as this is, it's about the sunshine. You know, it's on you.
Sunshine Lombre, thank you for your piece. Thank you for sharing. Your voice is unique. Your cadence, it was it was unique as well. It was something that I don't know. It was just a step off, but I like it. I like the cadence. The only thing that I'm asking for next week when I see you is the emotion. I think it was misplaced a little bit, just in my opinion. But I think you'll get that right next week. So with that being said, I can give you an 8.2. I appreciate your piece.
All right, 8.2. All right, Kimberly Stewart.
Sunshine. First of all, come on, Afro sister. Like that hair. As soon as you hit the screen, I was like, yeah, yes. I love it. I love it. I love your whole vibe. It's the vibe for me. Now, regarding your piece, yeah, last season we had a judge and she kept saying, don't poet at me. Don't poet at me, Sunshine, because there was parts of your piece that sounded like it wasn't even your piece. It sounded like you were reading someone else's piece. And I think it was because you were trying to give it a cadence. You were trying to give it a something that you thought that it needed. And in all actuality, the pieces of the poem that were more conversational and you just talking to us, even after you changed the pace and you kind of got real light, and it felt more authentic. It felt more like you were talking to me and you were telling me this story, right? You were telling me what it is that was on your mind that you wanted me to get out of it. Before that, it was like you were trying to tell me some facts and your opinion, but you were on a soapbox. And you are one of those poets that has the ability to be on a soapbox without ever being on a soapbox, because we want to hear from you. We want to look at you. We want to talk to you. Like, you'd be one of those poets that I would come up to afterwards, like, yo, where you going to be next? You know? So you don't have to overdo us. You don't have to poet at us. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying, make it do a certain thing, because that's what poets do. Just do what Sunshine does. And I promise you it'll be enough, because your vibe is strong. I promise you it'll be enough. So, with all of that, I'm going to give you 8.
All right, 8. And that was Trejay that said, don't poet at us. Yep, Trejay. All right, y'all, we on that Poets Road, kicking it out. Tamara Blue.
This is a 9. I thank you for changing it up. Just honestly, in slams, sometimes you just get a higher point for not just sounding like everybody else that went before you. And because you came with a different vibe, very relaxed, very storytelling, in my opinion, very authentic to yourself. You give kind of like a South African vibe with it, because it's almost like where he was saying the offbeat, it's kind of like the cadence on when you tell the stories, maybe like a Samba the Great type of thing. So like, dig into your stuff, sis. Like, keep going. That's a 9.
I love it. Keep going. That's a 9. Red Line, it's on you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So there was this other poet on the season that I judged on. Her name was Auntie, and Auntie was really good at satire, and she was really good at this kind of monologue-ish approach. And because I have a slight theater background, it kind of pulls me just a little bit. Because I understand that too is also another approach, very much like our brother at the top, who I said kind of gave me it kind of reminded me of Langston Hughes. So that was just a different approach to a poem. I didn't hate that approach at all. I thought that it was good. Even if you're in a place where it's not you, the ability to make me believe that it's you, you know what I'm saying, is a powerful thing. So you allow me to, because you put me in this place and you have this truth, but you like this irony, but it's humorous at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So I really dug that. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to you. I believe that I could catch your eyes looking to the side, which indicates to me that you may have been reading off of it. I can't give you a higher score because of that, but you know, I got it. I'll give you a 8.5.
All right, 8.5, solid. All right, Lachelle the shooter.
Yeah, I appreciate satire. It's something that we don't get to see often enough in the poetic space, right? Because somebody said it, we do like to do a lot of like heavier poems often. So I appreciate a good satire poem, a little bit of humor. There are some actual phenomenal poets who mix humor into their poems, one of which has just swept through a lot of tournaments, and Roddy. Roddy mixes a lot of humor in her work, and she be beating everybody. So like, go for it. I love it. I love to see it. I appreciate it. Yeah. So the only thing I would like just challenge, like how much deeper you can go in terms of the metaphor, right? Because like it is a heavy topic, but like how do you start to get beneath the layers of it so it feels a little bit more like down in those weeds and really taking us into it, because it is a social justice issue, and everybody's talking about social justice. So we want to make sure that when you tackle this, that you're saying it in a way that it hasn't been said before, because everybody on Twitter with the same talking points type of situation, right? And not that your poem did that, but that's what we want to make sure that we're doing when we're tackling a subject that is very popular and very common, and you're in a room especially full of Black people who are all in that same topic, right? But other than that, I'm good with this, so I'm gonna give you an 8.5.
All right, 8.5. Love it. Love it. Hey, Sunshine, you did your thing. I appreciate you, sis. We're gonna put you backstage, and we're gonna get down to the last poet, y'all. After this last poll, we'll let y'all know who advanced. Only 8 poets of tonight will make it to round 2. We will also figure out what our prompt is and who the client is, y'all. But with no further ado, put your hands together for Stephen Logan. Let's go. Your song.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Dear Donald Trump, I'm 40%. That did not vote for Hillary, did not vote for you, didn't vote at all. I've come to the realization that ballots at voting booths don't make Black skin bulletproof. And I know amongst those who share or identify my skin with theirs, this confession sounds like Martin's dream dying. Sound like freedom stopped ringing. Sound like Rosa Parks got up and went to the back of the bus. Sounds like Malcolm Little never became Malcolm X. Sounds like civil rights was just a myth whispered on the tongues of corpses, and it's believed that my absent ballot vacates my right to speak. No, it's a silent protest against an America that shapeshifts its name to Miranda Wright, remaining silent when Black bodies drop like dead fire in autumn. Mr. Trump, you embody an America that slaves gave their last breath to end, an America that deems Black 3/5 human, an America that mandates that I drink from the color's only fountain, an America that tells women their place of residence is beneath women in silence, an America that blames rape victims for having Robert Kelly lyrics stitched into their garments because somehow when her mouth tells you no, her body is screaming, grab me in. You get my point. I hate to admit this, but you're omnipresent. Because in the most sacred of spaces, on the most holiest of grounds, in Sunday sanctuaries, when I stretch my hands to the God of heaven, then look to my left, I'm worshiping next to you and your children. At my job, I occupy the same cubicle next to you, feet sauntering down the same faded brown grocery aisle as you, because a vote for you means that they are one with you, means that they are you, but you are nothing new. We've seen your kind before. You're like a King Nebuchadnezzar who desires to burn Abednego's, Shadrachs, Meshachs, and Colin Kaepernicks for not bowing to Trump idols, provoking the Trinity, the Kendrick Lamar you in your diaphragm in order for you to sit down and be humble. Your words, weapons of mass insurrection, a divisive causing equation. When you say make America great again, my neck tastes the lynch in the same rope that gripped my ancestors' neck like bald fists swallowing death while hanging from hickory so high. How can you make America great again when white privilege gives your boys in blue permission to beat blacks until their eyes are star-spangled, until crimson drains from their veins like rivers? See, this is the new red, white, and blue, because every day my life expectancy diminishes because my skin is the same color of the gun around the cop's waist, because in this country, even when my hands, pockets, and my waist is empty, because I'm black and educated makes me armed and dangerous, but because I'm a Christian, my spirit always prompts me to question in every freedom expression, what is my Christianity without compassion? What is my activism without active faith, believing that the same Christ that turned water into wine, that turned assassin Saul into Apostle Paul, the same Christ can take a right-winged Donald and transform him into a worshiping David if he would just stop grabbing Bathsheba. So I benevolently bend my body before a God, praying that you will stop being the lion with no courage, 10 men with no heart, and a crow scaring the nation with no brain, so that we might all sing Dorothy's song. That America is no place like home for all sincerely a concerned black soul.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, this is the last poll we judging tonight. Who knows? It's on you.
Stilo, although we come to the end of the road. Thank you for being the last poet, my brother, and thank you for coming and doing what you do. I thought you was gonna lay an egg because it's been a long night and everybody's on, their emotions are high, but you came and you sound like an old Southern Baptist preacher. You gave me a sermon. I wanted to pull out a couple dollars and put in the collection plate. I felt like I had missed church Sunday, and you gave me that Sunday delivery, right? Your pen is nice. Yeah, it wasn't over my head. It was right where everybody could understand, right? So I like those type of pieces where you don't have to think too much. You just give me what I need, right? The only thing that I said it was just a tad bit too long for me. Just a little bit too long. And with that being said, 8.8. Thank you.
All right, 8.8. Kimberly Stewart.
Sir, Mr. Professor. Is it Stilo or Steven? What would you prefer? It's Steve.
And it's more authentic, so I just prefer Steven.
Okay. So let me tell you, I am delighted. You tickled me. And like, I think when I'm laughing and I'm smiling, y'all, I love poetry. Like, I am passionate about poetry. I love the art of spoken word. And you're the type of poet that reminds me why I love spoken word. In our culture, the spoken word artist is the storyteller, is the carrier of our history. He or she is the carrier of our lineage. He or she is the only reason why we still have a culture. They're the voice of a generation. They're the ones who stand up and talk about the things that we're all feeling in our heart. Not all of us have a pen to write it so eloquently. Not all of us do. And not all of us have the voice and the patience and the love to tell this story in the way that you do, sir. I am honored to be here in your presence. That was amazing. You just gave a whole masterclass. And like, you deserve to be last. Like, I don't know. You probably sat down and prayed tonight, and God just sent a little ding over to the randomizer and was like, go ahead and put him last, son. Put him last. Because you deserve to be last. And so all of that, I'm gonna give you a 9.5.
All right, 9.5. All right, we're on that poets row. Tamara Blue. What say you?
I am not a poet that likes poetry or slams. So I just want to say that thank you all for dealing with me and my judging, and we're going to do this all month, and I'm going to keep coming. But generally, I be outside when the slam is going on. That felt like a slammy poem. By a slammy poem, it was written to be performed in a slam situation is what it felt like to me. And I don't particularly care for that. There was passion in it. I think the way that you could make it not seem so slammy or like just written to be performed for a slam would be some of the inflections in your different stories. Because like he was saying with the preacher, you don't want to come in right to shouting. You got to build up to the moment when the spirit hits you. So there's some pieces in that poem when you're talking that you got to really let spirit come through stronger, and the rest of it just be, poems. But it's an 8.8.
All right, I love it. 8.8. All right, Red Lion.
Oh, Stephen, you never know who's in the room. I remember you competing at Legacy. And I remember.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, you did. I'm about to say, hey, don't embarrass me, Stephen. I know what I saw.
When you said Legacy, I heard rhetoric. I was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, that's the other one. That's the other one. We ain't gonna talk about that one right now.
Okay.
But I remember you competing at Legacy. And I remember there were a panel of judges there too. And I remember what Preston Perry told you. I do. And it shows me a couple things. One, it shows me that you're very teachable and that you take advice, right? That bit of grace that I could clearly see you add toward the end of that poem in comparison to whenever I heard the poem last time, right? So, yeah, I just want to acknowledge the fact that you've been heard before and you've been listened to, and people that you may not be aware of, they know who you are. Okay, so yeah, be cognizant of that as you're going forward, because yeah. With that being said, I'm glad you did take that advice, because it did add a different layer to the poem, and it did add a little bit more dimension to it. As far as the performance goes, I think the performance was great. With the exception of a couple of stumbles that happened, I'm saying that we could see the stumbles and everything. And it's the only reason I can't really give you an incredibly high score, because, it happened a couple different times. But otherwise, dude, I didn't hate the piece. To Blue's point, it is very slammy. And I think since that is a piece that you are very familiar with, you can play around with it a lot more. Just to kind of experiment with it, just to see a different pocket for which you can present that piece. This is not a traditional slam. You don't have to feel rushed. You know what I'm saying? And you have a right to, play around with, just different elements of yourself as an artist. With that being said, for me, it's an 8.9.
All right, 8.9. All right, Michelle the Shooter.
Oh my gosh. This might be my most controversial take, and I'm sorry it waited to the end. I think people have generally liked me. I don't know if y'all gonna agree. So I think this is one of those poems where like the performance is really what kept it like top of the bunch. But admittedly, there was a disconnect for me in the writing. This particular poem, particularly because you started with this idea of like being one of the few in that, like in this demographic of people who don't vote. But somewhere along the way, we got into this very heavy religious godly deity that we've made of Donald Trump and him being like this omnipresent thing. And it didn't connect for me, right? So like writing wise, I was like, hey, how did this metaphor, how did we really bridge this? And I missed it. So maybe I need to see it on the page, and I apologize. Maybe it's there and I just didn't catch it well. It could have went over my head. I'm sorry. But that was where I was struggling with the poem. That I just lost the connection there in the midst of not voting, not having a voice as somebody who doesn't vote, but then bringing it into this Donald Trump camp and him being omnipresent and stuff, where it kind of just didn't connect for me there. But the writing, like you as a writer, and everything you said in it resonated, right? Like I understood the lines. I know you're a good writer. There's just a disconnect for me with a particular poem that I'm trying to still make sense of. But all in all, I still think it was one of the best performances here. And I still give that an 8.2.
All right, 8.2. Yo, we have come to the end of the slam. Before I let you know who the Elite 8 are, I want y'all to take a look at this prop because, yo, I think y'all gonna like it. It's my man Brandon Z. Hoff. He has a clothing line with Heritage Hill. I'm losing my voice, so I'm gonna let him tell you. Here we go.
Hey, peace family, it's Brandon Z. Hoff from the Heritage Hill, your premier location for HBCU, Divine Nine, and Black Power Apparel. Our motto is, I'm about making my ancestors proud. So that is your prompt for the week, making my ancestors proud. And of course, we got prize and gifts for you. The winner will receive our signature, I'm about making my ancestors proud, Pan-African sweatshirt. Good luck, y'all. Peace.
All right. So as you see, Brandon Z. Hoff, next week, the prompt is, I'm about making my ancestors proud. Hey, it's pretty general. The prize is a sweatshirt, but y'all, I'm looking for some dope pieces. Who is the Elite 8, you might ask? Listen, on the lineup, we have Madam President, Jay the Sage, Bars, Hey Tice, the Afro Native, Symbolic, Sunshine Lombre, and Stephen Logan. Who took the prize tonight? Who had the highest score of tonight? Y'all, I think his name says it all. I'll give it up for the number one poet tonight, none other than Bars, y'all. All right, so y'all, just so y'all know, next week, Tuesday is Valentine's Day. I wouldn't do that to y'all. I can't do that for me. Hey, I'm married. I understand it. So next week is the only time we about to move the slam one day over to a Monday. So it normally is every Tuesday night at 10 Central. Next week, it's on a Monday. Next week, we're going to be hearing about making our ancestors proud. Y'all, I'm excited. Judges, I thank y'all. Co-hosts, it's always love. People in the comments, hey, much love for rocking with us. I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Remember, we're rocking on a Monday. Until then, y'all be safe. Love y'all. We out.